built on fear. And fear used to hold everything together. We used to romanticize endurance, staying through the pain, calling silence peace, calling suffering loyalty. But in different questions. They're not asking, can I survive with this person? But they're asking, does my life feel better with them in it? That's a hard question because it exposes everything. It exposes emotional laziness. It exposes a lack.
People join in, follow the host, and share the space.
Okay.
So, good evening, guys. Those just joining us, please kindly share the space and follow the host. That's the right thing to do. Thank you. Mr. Waller, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Mr. So. Donu, how are you?
Click on the link, Dele.
Oh,
Donu,
okay.
you have to meet yourself if you're making a call.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So, how's your day?
To be honest, it's been as good as it can be. It's been one interesting conversation to another, and then the climax of the day. Here we are. So we're looking forward to it.
We were all looking forward to this moment, I guess.
When it comes to civic.
Yeah, I'll see how we are going to.
My day.
Yeah.
The saga is still on, but we've just.
That's like you had an exciting.
Oh,
I think Dele is here already, so
Has he arrived yet?
I would think his concept.
Oh,
I want
I can see him.
Oh, here he is. I've seen him now. So I'm adding him as a speaker,
yes,
right?
please. I've done that already, so just it will propagate in a minute and bring him up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to do that first before he came, so we can set the audience off. But since he's here already, I'll probably just it's dropped back to listening session. I don't know why. Is it? Can you see him on speaker on your side or?
I don't know how long anyone of the show.
Yeah, I can see
first before he's
but he's
the voice.
That's the voice. That's the voice.
Problem solved. Okay. Mr. Dele, before you go, we were intending to play a clip of you just to set the tone. So we'll ask your concert first. That's okay, or should we just get cracking with it?
Enjoy yourself.
Hey, brilliant. Let's do it before we do any kind of introduction. Okay. Here we go. Because we had a conversation about this. It was quite pleasant. So here we go. Give us 2 minutes. And Donu, could you mute your mic, please, so we don't get feedback?
My mic is okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Peter Obi did not lose the last election. Peter Obi won the last election. INEC and the judiciary performed their magic. 2027, there will be no election without a reformation of our electoral system. If the electoral system is not reformed to ensure that beavers and electronic transmission from the polling unit becomes compulsory, I would not even bother to participate in that election, because you can be sure that Tinubu was not in power that ran and snatched and grabbed it. Already has the 2027 election results written. A Tinubu that will be busy appointing weakest man as electoral commissioner. The most violent election rigger in Nigeria today, openly wicked. There are multiple videos and audio of Wike enforcing his political will in Rivers State over and above the sovereign will of the people of that state. My name remains Dele Farotimi, and I am saying that there are more than enough material online showing Wike violently suppressing the right of the people of Rivers State to elect their chosen representatives. And I am saying that his personal aide, his person, has already been appointed a resident electoral commission since Tinubu came to power. So how can you be talking about a free and fair election in 2027 when it's already a fait accompli that without consequential amendment of the Electoral Act, without a consequential reformation of our judicial system, the same madness that took place in 2023 will repeat itself in 2027. If we do not tell ourselves this basic truth ahead of time, how can we even hope that anything will change? As I've told you, the truth is both a sword and a shield. I love wielding it as a sword and smashing them on the head, and I don't care for their feelings. I don't know how long.
People will Q&A session for about half an hour, and okay.
I'm not going to leave my life. As I've told you, the truth is both a sword and a shield. I love wielding it as a sword and smashing them on the head, and I don't care for their feelings. I don't know how long any one of us is going to live. I'm not going to live my life kowtowing to the opinion, sentiments, or emotions of worthless human beings who have wrecked the life of thousands and millions by their actions and inactions.
Okay. How's that for a welcome introduction, guys? Allow me to introduce the space and introduce the format in which we're going to run this, so everyone is aware of how the conversation would go. Just basically back and forth. We're free to go if he wants to. A question for Mr. Farotimi. Other than that, we'll.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. There is Comrade. There is some
from emotions. I speak from positions of fact and truth. The reality is that Peter Obi won the 2023 election. By what margin, nobody can really say, because INEC did a fantastic job of deliberately making it impossible to speak with any extent of certainty as to the exact nature of the result. But it was clear that Peter Obi won that election. The fact that 3 years after the election is still the subject and object of ridicule, of attack, of many form of infantile idiocy from the government and its agents, paid attacks of all sorts, tells you exactly, it's still the issue in Nigerian politics 3 years after the stolen election. The fact that they know, every one of us are aware, there is sometimes when you have what you call the truth bias. The truth bias is very clear. Whether we are able to say with certainty as to what kind of victory he had, that's another ball game entirely. But you don't go attacking the person who came third, who had only 1 or 2 people making noise and tweeting from a room. And the little bit we saw of empirical evidence of extreme alteration of results, it was clear whose votes were being given to somebody else. And the somebody else is also very clear, is the current occupant of the office. We had an election where INEC cannot even tell you how they arrived at the results. They just announced the person without being able to bring forward any results. I don't think it's worthy of our time to The problem was that we could not protect our vote. That's another ball game entirely. But that whether we won or not, of course we did. We won. We won.
Okay. So there's so many issues that we can talk about around this topic. We can talk about electoral reform, or we can
You can't have election reform in Nigeria. Stop wasting your time about election reform. Our problem is not going to be resolved by election reform. I have no problem with those who are fighting for it. I have offered my voice and my platform multiple occasions to someone like Peter Aka, who is doing a tremendous job. I have no problem with people asking that there should be a reformation of our electoral system, but I don't think the problem is actually one that arises from a lack of processes or rules. It's more a situation where the law does not matter because even the courts themselves have become complicit in the mess. So no amount of electoral reform is going to solve the problem. I don't personally. When we had the 1993 election, all they had were papers and biros. Now there were no computers involved except maybe at INEC headquarters. Everything was done by option A4, and we still had a free and fair election. This one, IREF was supposed to work. IREF did not work out, did not work. Glitch happened overnight. The same IREF that was working for House of Reps and Senate stopped working when it came to the presidency. Our Supreme Court suddenly became incapable of interpreting the meaning of hand. All of a sudden, Nigeria had a 37th state called Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. So you have multiple failures of the system. And when we keep looking to the electoral reform as the be-it-all, the panacea or the silver bullet for the madness that we have tolerated, we will be missing the point. We can't vote our way out of this mess. This is not to deprecate the work of those working on electoral reform. But I think any politician who is serious about winning election in Nigeria must go beyond campaigning and manifesto, must prepare the electorate to protect their vote after voting in the election, because the vote alone will not be enough. You can reform the Electoral Act 1,000 times. We already have a better electoral system than the American. Gained power and truth. The reality is the electoral system than the Americans. Already, we have a better electoral system. We have a better electoral system than the Americans. Our situation remains the way it is, simply because our rulers and our courts have no respect for the laws that they tout. That's just what it is.
Well, you're talking about the difference between theory and practice, which is so very relevant within this context. You also spoke about protecting our failure to protect our votes. What exactly would you have recommended how could we have done that?
I said something in the lead up to the 2023 election. I spoke about how I believe very clearly that Peter Obi presented the last opportunity for the old order to transit peacefully, but they refused to take that thing. So when you ask this question, let me be clear. If I am on the ballot, I would be mobilizing my supporters that once they are done voting, they should be there to fight to protect their vote. But you can only do that when you align the people behind a vision that they are prepared to die for, rather than to allow these cretins to continue destroying their lives and their children's hope. Yorubas will say that that means that you cannot take something away without being committed to breaking things sometime. We've come to that point in Nigeria. For the laws that they tout. That's just what it is.
Well, how could we have done that?
I said something in the lead up to the 2023 election. I spoke about how I believe very clearly that Peter Obi presented the last opportunity for the old order to transit peacefully, but they refused to take that thing. So when you ask this question, let me be clear. If I am on the ballot, I would be mobilizing my supporters that once they are done voting, they should be there to fight to protect their vote. But you can only do that when you align the people behind a vision that they are prepared to die for, rather than to allow these cretins to continue destroying their lives and their children's hope. Yorubas will say that that means that you cannot take something away without being committed to breaking things sometime. We've come to that point in Nigeria that all this shumi, shama, because it's my name, you can trust me. It's not about that anymore. Nigerians need to have substantive programs behind which
we go manage them like that too, because Dele Farotimi dropped gems here and I align with it. So we'll
a
manage.
vision that they are prepared to die for rather than to allow these cretins to continue destroying their lives and their children's home. Yorubas will say that that means that you cannot take something away without being committed to breaking things sometimes. We've come to that point in Nigeria that all this shumi, shama, because it's my name, you can trust me. It's not about that anymore. Nigerians need to have substantive programs behind which they can kill, something for which they are prepared to die. It's not enough to simply say, I'm running for this. What is the basis of the run? What is it that you want the people to support? Why are the people going to be willing to stand behind? Once upon a time in my own youth, Yoruba people died to protect their votes. Ibadan, Ondo, Ekiti. People would not even think of selling their votes because they knew the benefit of that vote. They knew what to expect if the party they were voting for gained power. So they were committed to principles and ideals, and they had goals, not the person. It didn't matter whom the parties presented. They were voting for programs, free education, free healthcare. They knew what they were voting for. What are Nigerians voting for now that will make them be willing to stand behind their votes? Because any politician who is unable to connect the people to the destiny of their country and the importance of their vote is wasting his time. You cannot vote APC out of power without a preparedness to die if you must do so in protection of your vote. These are not ordinary, normal politicians. These are monsters. People who are comfortable with importing terrorists into the country they want to govern. Those are not normal human beings. People who will go and pay $9 million to be lying that screwdriver seller was the one who provided information leading to bombing of terrorists. Those are not normal human beings. They are existential dangers to Nigeria, and if we do not deal with them in that fashion, this country is gone. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Any politician who is not prepared to mobilize the people in readiness for the street after their vote is wasting his time.
Okay, but again, let me ask you to be specific. Mobilize, defend. What exactly?
Let me put it this way. Since you don't worry now. Since you want it in black and white.
We go manage am. Now like this, we go dey manage am. Because if na me talk this one now, people go dey say, why is she doing this?
Peter will be present. This country is gone. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Any politician who is not prepared to...
Don't they talk am since? Any politician, anybody wey wan come out now must be ready. All this turn the other cheek. E no go no work. E no go no work.
People who are comfortable with importing terrorists into the country they want to govern, those are not normal human beings.
I'm telling you.
People who will go and pay $9 million to be lying that screwdriver seller was the one who provided information leading to bombing of terrorists. Those are not normal human beings. They are existential dangers to Nigeria, and if we do not deal with them in that fashion, this country is gone. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Any politician who is not prepared to mobilize the people in readiness for the street after their vote is wasting his time.
Okay, but again, let me ask you to be specific. Mobilize, defend. What exactly?
Let me put it this way. Since you don't worry now. Since you want it in black and white. The last election in Lagos State, it took miscreants, some of them not even bothering to be harmed, to chase people off their polling centers. Imagine if the people were organized in a manner that says, okay, if you have dogs in your house, bring out your dog on election day. If na cutlass you get, carry and join body, come voting booth on that day. Make it. How many are the people hearing the people of their voting?
Telling you.
But the people are not committed to a defense of their vote because there is nothing substantive. Nobody has organized them in that fashion. But our reality suggests that is what has to be done if anything is going to happen. You can't play nice with criminals, and these people are criminals. I use the word deliberately. Some of them even convicted ones.
I couldn't agree more. Let me turn to Mr.
Na no vessel. Now so we go dey manage am. I don't know what keeps going on. Why it keeps skipping. We go dey here today.
That
this country, and thank you, Donu.
Now the word deliberate. Nobody has organized them in that fashion, but our reality suggests that is.
Two.
Right. The last election in Lagos State, it took miscreants.
Let me try my other device. Maybe this one don dey tire. But today na today, we go listen to this thing together. because I've been saying this thing. I don't they talk am from beginning. Anybody when they come out must be ready. Fire, not be all this one, turn the cheek. How long are you going to do? We are dealing with devils, literal devils that are said, today, we are taking you. Look me, look you. They never stop to the pipe people. We cannot be playing this thing with. Hold on 1 second. If I move on forward.
Who are comfortable with the important for me. Any politician who is not prepared to mobilize the people in readiness for the street after their vote is wasting his time.
Bam.
Okay. But again, let me ask you to be specific. Mobilize, defend. What exactly?
Let me put it this way. Since you don't worry now. Since you want it in black and white. The last election in Lagos State, it took miscreants, some of them not even bothering to be harmed, to chase people off their polling centers. Imagine if the people were organized in a manner that says, okay, if you have dogs in your house, bring out your dog on election day. If na cutlass you get, carry and join.
Telling you, if na broken bottle, pack am.
Make it. How many are the people scaring the people of their voting booths? But the people are not committed to a defense of their vote because there is nothing substantive. Nobody has organized them in that fashion. But our reality suggests that that is what has to be done if anything is going to happen. Okay. You can't play nice with criminals, and these people are criminals. I use the word deliberately. Some of them even convicted ones.
I couldn't agree more. So okay. Let me turn to Mr. Comrade. Let me ask Comrade to now chip in, my co-host, and ask his own or make his comments or ask his own question.
Okay. Thank you, Donu. Senior Comrade Dele, my pleasure. I was looking forward to having this session because we had you coming over to speak to us, and you actually, this is Opposition Unleashed, but what we're getting is Dele Unleashed.
Yes.
From that 2 minutes.
We wanted to call it before, but you know.
Exactly, honestly. So, well, I think I've never had this raw. Sometimes I used to speak. I'm from the north. First of all, you know what it is with our culture here. And I know very much when Mr. Dele is speaking like he's preaching what is written somewhere in the scriptures. An eye for an eye. How do you defend your most valuable asset as a citizen of this country? And the person that is coming to take it away from you is determined. The person does not care whether he's a Muslim or a Christian, he's a northerner, wherever he is from. What matters is determined to take it. And he doesn't care who has it. Is it his own brother, his own cousin, whoever? What matters is his own gold. And now you that owns this thing, that it is yours, how far are you going to go to protect it? Mr. Dele, yeah, I have dogs. I can come out with dogs. I have cutlasses. If I come out with cutlasses, or if I carry drugs, like those, they are thugs, taking drugs, taking matches, any other thing that you can think of, then who is actually in the right senses to actually decide who wins the election? I don't know if my question is clear. Are we not certain? Yes.
Let me use an analogy for you. It's very simplistic, but you pardon me. A man comes to my doorstep and is defecating, and I break his head for defecating at my doorstep. And you say I'm a violent man. Who is the violent man? The man who came to my door, or I, who has risen in protection of my own head? The fact of the matter is that what the scenario I've painted for you of bringing out your dog, not drug, or dogs, aja, bingo, woof, woof, of bringing out your dogs and your machete and all of that is the simplistic illustration of self-defense. I am sure that we are not so defenseless that we cannot organize ourselves if there is truly a vision behind which we are united. But because we are so fractious, we are hardly capable of finding common purpose. And those who are purported to lead have not bothered to lay down the vision by which they seek to lead us. If there was an overarching vision behind which we are killed, do you really believe that these people are capable of deploying? In fact, before 1 o'clock on election day, if the politicians know that there will be resistance and planned resistance to it, we will have the result of the election before 1 o'clock on election day.
The only reason this is happening is because, one, there is mass voters apathy, and that voters apathy is founded largely on the voters' disillusionment with the process. The only thing that is driving any form of opposition in Nigeria right now, which is why I'm happy to recognize that I'm not a member of any opposition. There is no opposition in Nigeria. There are only persons who understand the need that this system must be ended. Some of them are finding accommodation in political parties, and you can call them members of opposition. But in reality, is there truly a political party in Nigeria that can be said to be an opposition party? As far as I'm concerned, there really isn't any. So I'm thankful that you understand that it is Dele Farotimi that is speaking, and I'm not speaking for any opposition party. I don't belong to any. But to address the other issue, you are also not citizens, and this should be the crime. It should be the rallying point. Anybody looking to lead Nigerians in this season should be looking to make us citizens. People who are subjected to the rule of law and whose votes count and whose welfare is the primary reason for the existence of the state. That is where we should be, and that is what we should be talking about as far as I'm concerned. I really don't believe I should make excuses for preparing to resist the slavery that is intended for Nigerians by APC. If that means organizing to violently resist vote hijacking, so be it. I'm all for that.
Now, I know very well that, yes, you have criticized openly Peter Obi, and not that you're endorsing Atiku or any other person, but I know very much also that Atiku is also another candidate that you're not going to take it easy with him. You're going to criticize him if he's the one in your front, just like Peter Obi's position. Now, coming 2027, Nigerians are here listening. We're all listening to you, and you're one of the most critical person. That's when you speak, especially on elections and candidates. Young Nigerians are looking forward to, okay, how can I take Uncle Dele's words and turn it into or translate it into the streets language and ask or talk to my other fellow citizens to understand. So where do we stand? Are we just going to give up 2027, or you think you have some words to guide some of us here?
Nature above vacuums. So obviously 2027 is not going to happen and go in a vacuum. Something would have to happen. But when you look at the Nigerian political constellation as things stand today, I beg to disagree that Atiku is a candidate. As far as I'm concerned, he is not a candidate. That is even considered a contender is an insult to the intelligence of Nigerians. That would actually make the ATC conglomeration no different from the APC of 2014-2015, because the question then is, what is it that the APC have done in the last years that Atiku wouldn't have done since he was a founding member of that same APC? What is it that he's looking for now that is going to change anything about what has already been done to destroy Nigeria? So as far as I'm concerned, he's not a factor in the coming election. That we're even talking about him goes to show you how useless the electoral process has become, because the space has become constricted. Now, to deal with the specifics of are we supposed to be writing up 2027, that would be a function of, one, is the Nigerian political class capable of recognizing what is in his own enlightened selfish interest? And what is that thing in his own enlightened selfish interest? I believe personally that as useless as they have proven themselves to be up to this point, it is critical that they recognize that it is in their enlightened selfish interest to find a peaceful transition away from the madness we are currently in. Our current trajectories are not sustainable. You cannot continue to have this number of economically displaced, disadvantaged, and impoverished persons, this level of weaponized ignorance, and not expect to come to a point of implosion in the nearest future. So the political class, as useless, I repeat again, as they are, what history has told me is that it is always members of the oppressive class that lead whatever revolution will come. I am not holding my breath that they have the capacity to crystallize a revolution in Nigeria, but perhaps they might at least be able to organize an orderly transition devoid of widespread violence. Because if Atiku as a person does not recognize that his time has gone, unless it's working for Tinubu, if it's not working for Tinubu, I expect that he'll be able to see very clearly that the only candidate that is capable of galvanizing anything politically is Peter Obi. This is not me campaigning for him. This is me, and let me just clarify that. If Peter Obi thrown forward by that party called ADC today, that does not have a clear charter with the Nigerian people, I cannot campaign for him, because it will be no different from a Buhari of 2014-2015 who ended up causing more damage to Nigeria than people had imagined when they were voting for him. So let's just be clear, this is not me campaigning for him. If Peter Obi does not come to the village square with a clear program that defines exactly how he intends to change Nigeria in a substantive manner, connect with the people sufficiently, I will not. The Peter Obi of 2023, I cannot vote for him in 2027. He has to evolve to become what he needs to become, and that is a revolutionary, transformational leader. It's not about his person any longer. It has to be tied to policies, to issues. The people have to be galvanized. It cannot be about person. It has to move beyond that.
You're right. Let me leave you with my colleague. So, can you take that, Okule?
Yeah, all right. I'll pick it up from there. You might look at my comment, right? Dele, thank you very much for coming. And it was supposed to be a conversation, but you always put us in a frame where we listen, and it's a lecture anytime you're speaking. So basically, that's what we're getting to. But I'll segue to, I'll reference your work, and ask my question from there, because I have read 2 of your books, and myself and Kunle, we've actually had 3 spaces on the imperative of the Nigerian revolution, because we are of that mindset that is what is needed. So, when EndSARS happened, and in one of your book, when you wrote that, you were convinced that you were witnessing a revolution in real time, in as much as you wanted to write about it, but you really wanted to look at it for what it was. Fast forward to now, where we are, and that hasn't really surfaced as the required revolution. But my question, in alignment with the vision you spoke of, I'd like to ask you personally, what is your own vision for a new Nigeria? Because I know you have the constitution you wrote is actually called A New Nigeria as Possible. Not a lot of people know that. Now that the word is being danced around, you've had that for years just sitting there. So what is your own vision for a new Nigeria?
Well, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. And if it's not broken, I don't believe it should be fixed. Long before Nigeria was founded, people who are much more temperate than myself and you, who had more time dedicated to brain work, they spent years, they negotiated the country that emerged. There were certain fundamental building blocks to the country that they imagined could be built out of the space called Nigeria. And what they did was that they agreed on regions, they agreed on federalism, they agreed on the rule of law and democracy, parliamentary democracy. Now, I grew up in an era where people respected themselves. We didn't have so many detached houses and flats. People lived in face me, I slap you. And my mother used to say that as long as people would respect the rules, she could live with even a mad person. And I saw that happen in real time. But what happened to us is that we jettisoned the agreement. We did not respect the rules. By the time the British left, in less than 6 years, Nigeria was broken because people were too impatient and they did not allow the system to work. I believe very strongly that the only chance for Nigeria to remain one, if it has to remain one, and I'm not averse to breaking it up, let's be very clear. The only way Nigeria can remain one is to go back to its federalist roots so that each region should be able to develop at its own pace. But I modernized that a bit, and if you look at the draft constitution that you referenced, you see that we used the 6 geopolitical zones that has emerged by consensus. So instead of the 4 regions that were truncated in 1966, we proposed 6 regions. So it is these 6 federating regions that are meant to be the new structure for Nigeria. With slight tweaks here and there, I don't want you to say already that I lecture instead of answering questions, but the one you have asked demands this explanation. So I believe that if we go back to our federalist roots, it's not a magic wand, because the people themselves have become, I'm sorry to say, extremely acculturated to madness. So even if you tweak the structure of governance, if you do not deal with the mindset of the people themselves and then impose law and order and the rule of law, you are wasting your time. So I believe essentially that if you want to move forward, go back first. Go back to those basic fundamentals, and if it's not going to work after a season, if it must be broken, do so only after having established law and order so that it does not become a descent into madness and a civil war. People talk about breaking Nigeria as if you can just bring a ruler and draw it. I don't believe that is possible. I believe you have to unite the people first, have a cooling off period, and then if it must break, have your plebiscite or a referendum, and then break it up if you must. It's not compulsory that it must be one.
And your vision would be?
I just laid it out. I believe that. No, I'm sorry. Since there is a separation, you are seeking to separate the restructuring from a vision for Nigeria. Frankly speaking, I don't believe I have enough time in my lifetime to do anything beyond the basic. Nigeria is too complex, but I believe that if you can go back to those basic building blocks, you have economic, you have security, you have stability, political stability, other things. People can come. 1,001 other people have ideas by which they can develop the country. But I don't believe we can do anything without those building blocks being settled first. Those are the only things I'm thinking of. Other people can come with their highfalutin economic vision for Nigeria, how they want. I'm not interested in it. I just want to see a stable country that can then grow based on the priorities and the governance of the people. That's all I think.
It's critical you said that before I go to Mr. Phillips, because I've asked over 200 people that question, and I've never heard anybody say what you said. That's why I was a bit particular about that. I have spoken to a lot of people with that specific question, and thank you so much for that. We need to unite, we need to cool off, and then go back to the building blocks. I had to write it down because I'm going to speak about it at some point. Well, I'll pass over to Kule. Kule.
All right, that's why way in Eric Chukwusa says Nigerians do not want to die for Nigeria. There is a sense that Nigeria is not worth dying for. Nigerians are looking for alternatives. There's a few tweets. You can join the conversation via the tweet comment thread. Right. So, for those who are wondering what guest is on about, Peter Obi defeated Tinubu in Lagos. Rabiu Kwankwaso defeated Tinubu in Kano. In Rivers State, he told us the exact way in which we can rig the election and put it on record that Tinubu won. He did not win. He lost. He came third in Rivers State. So now in Kaduna, Atiku Abubakar defeated Tinubu in Kaduna. So where is the population center that Tinubu won? Just for those who might be wondering, if just to pack up what our guest said, there is he didn't won the election. We know that he won the election. They stole the election. As far as I'm concerned, Nigeria should have been waiting for them. If those judges, that man with his Gandhi hat and the gray beard, and all the other judges on that Supreme Court bench, if they saw 2 million Nigerians outside in Abuja, they would know the right thing to do. It doesn't matter how much they collected. Are they mad? That's what Nigerians should have done. They should have waited for them outside. Okay, when you finish that your judgment, then you come out and meet us here. Anyway, Baba, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I think when I saw you in that conference center in London, when you and Dati came, and I was telling you should run for Senate. I'm going to say the same thing. Baba, you should be in Senate. Represent your people in the Senate. Imagine them trying to hold the wool over your eyes inside the Senate. Anyway, I don't really have any questions for you. I'll let Nigerians who have questions for you come and join. Maybe I'll let in one or two people each talk to you here. It's not really for me, really. So,
thank you. Before we move on, can I just, Dele used a very strong word, monstrous, when he was talking about the elite, the people who are the ruling class. Dele, can you please give us, I totally agree with you. I have in my own head what monster or monstrous means. What do you have in your head when you use that word?
Well, given the fact that my involvement with the NSAS thing was dealing with victims, essentially. I was never part of their planning or execution. I knew nothing of that. But by the time the aftermath of the massacre had to be managed, I dealt with victims, people with gunshot injuries. I paid for funerals. I had people in safe houses. So I know the extent of evil the Nigerian state is capable of. I know the Lagos state government paid victims in cash, up to the tune of 100 million, paid in 2 tranches in cash. And these same people go around denying the murder of these persons. What else can I call such human beings if not monsters? People who prefer to ride in jeeps instead of building primary health care centers. What am I supposed to call those ones? People who ordered palliatives and were using palliatives as souvenirs at their birthday parties. What do you want me to call them other than monsters? We're dealing with persons who are barely human and certainly do not treat human beings humanely. I can't call them anything other than monsters. Who else would have people dying in the kind of numbers that Nigerians are dying and is more concerned with the propaganda? Who else? So I'm sorry, I'm even being very injurious to monsters by calling them monsters because they are in a class all by themselves.
Yes. And then I also want to take you up. I want to take you up on this comment you made about how there was no opposition. You see, I say that opposition is fading and on the way in decreasing. You say it is non-existent, and yet here we are. Are you making, when you say that it's non-existent, do you mean it's not coherent?
I'm talking about when you talk about opposition in the sense of any democracy, you're talking about a set of people who are organized behind clear ideas and ideology. We really don't have any such party in Nigeria.
Okay.
We don't. We have 1 or 2 human beings who, by reason of their own personal examples, have inspired followership. Outside of that, you don't have what policies. When I was speaking to energizing the people sufficiently to get them to be ready to fight and die if necessary to become citizens of Nigeria, please, which of the parties have played anything in the public space for Nigerians to believe that, okay, we can hang our destinies in the hand of these ones? So when I speak to the fact that we don't have a viable opposition, that's what I'm speaking to.
Okay, yes.
Well, am I supposed to consider a collection of David Mark, Aregbetola, M5, am I supposed to consider them an opposition to the and Atiku? I should consider them an opposition to the APC simply because Peter Obi is at the table? No. They might reform tomorrow. I don't know what they may become the day after tomorrow. But as of today, they are no different from the APC. They are the APC. That's all it is. It's just the APC looking in the mirror and he's seeing a stain on his face, and that stain is Peter Obi.
And no ideology is difficult with it. No clear manifesto.
Nothing. It's the same collection of thieves.
Okay. Donu, can I come in here? Sorry.
Of course.
Mr. Dele, you're really confusing a lot of us. Not that we don't understand what is happening. Sincerely, we understand and we totally agree. I totally agree with you. But sincerely speaking, you touched me so much that when you talked about the conscience of our politicians, our leaders, currently, I imagine what is happening. Dele, if you're in the north, with this attitude of yours, I bet you're going to start walking on the street without realizing where you're going to. You know why? Because what we have in the north, I swear to God, I've never seen a movie like this. On a daily basis, I will speak. If soldiers are not killed in Borno, police are not attacked in some checkpoints across some locations in the north. Trust me, communities or villages have been burnt down. Now, you might just imagine in a situation whereby hundreds, thousands of people are hiring vehicles, right? On daily basis, evacuating their communities. Do you know where they're heading to? Some are heading to the neighboring countries like Niger. All the locations they wanted to go and take refuge there, the gendarmes in Niger would stop them. The only place they have to go are the graveyards, the cemetery. And these are citizens from a country, from a state with budgets, right?
A country that the governors, they claim to be Muslims. They were sworn in with the Quran in their hands, some with Bibles, promising, they giving their words, and people were there surrounded that same spot where they sworn them in. But when this thing is happening, as if these are people, I don't know which country do we have to actually relate our own situation with. So when you talk about this, you call them monsters. I 100% agree. 100%. You struggle to understand a different word. No, I'm not struggling anymore. He has given me the words. Thank you. Honestly, I'm touched. But thank God, if we begin to speak this way, that is when Nigerians will know that, yes, we have lost our conscience as a country. We don't have conscience. Thank you, Mr. Dele. It's my opportunity. You can take it up or any other person.
Okay, we don't
Thank
feel your pain, brother. I'm very sorry. I feel your pain, but we must say it as we see it. Okay, well, we got 12 minutes onto the hour. And to be fair, we had a debate about this, just to give you an insight. We had a debate about what to call this space, because we know what you come with. So we actually had a vote to call it In Conversation with Dele or to call it Dele Unleashed. Myself and Donu kind of, we were being about the conversation, and the others were going for Unleashed. And I think Donu lost, couldn't call it what it was. So, but just to segue our last couple of minutes, my other question is, in your book, The Imperative.
So let me just briefly interrupt and tell you what Dele told me just before he came on.
All right, go for it.
He told me that he would be available for 75 minutes. So we've got him till 9:15.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Oh, thank God for that. Okay. Thanks. Good information. Okay, I'll get cracking with it then. People will start coming in at some point, so just be patient, please. We put a lot of work into making this really, really effective and impactful keyword. In your book, The Imperatives of the Nigerian Revolution, great book, by the way. Like I said, myself and Queen and Philip, we had about 3 sessions on Spaces analyzing that book in order to tweak the mindset of Nigerians. But it's good to hear from you that if Nigerians could have a focus on one particular imperative right now, especially the clients that we're facing, what would you say that imperative should be?
Demand to become citizens. That is the beginning and end of the madness of Nigeria. Nigerians are not citizens. We are all members of Nigeria, and we have multiple layers of membership. So you don't have citizenship. In a place that is not governed by law, you can't have citizens, because the law would apply differently to different persons. That's where we are with this madness. So if Nigerians are truly desirous of seeing change in Nigeria, they should ensure they vote a platform that makes them citizens, that ensures that the law counts, their vote will count, and everybody will be equally subject to the rule of law. Look, I'm sorry, I'll just take a little time. I understand that I was the one who constricted time, but let me just say this and I'll close. When Andrew...
Dele, there's nothing to stop you from staying extra time. If we can beg you, continue.
when Andrew became a liability to the royal family, they removed him as a royal. That is to send the signal that nobody is above the law. When the same Britain, that is the net receiver of our tolling Commonwealth, recalled a brigadier from retirement, then tried him, they court-martialed him, stripped him of his rank, and then sent him to prison. What was his offense? He claimed £50,000, more than he was entitled to in child education benefit. But that same Britain is a net receiver of our own stolen Commonwealth, and they know. So they are receivers of stolen goods. But our own system does not even punish thieves any longer. So I doubt that they even bother taking it to Britain again. They keep it here because nothing will happen. So if we have a system that holds people accountable, this madness will stop. That is what should be our priority going forward.
I was hearing that.
Society.
I was hearing that Abdul Rashid Maina, who stole pension funds.
Yes, now he's I think life patron of their bar associations.
Okay, cool. I think you were saying something. You might come here. You were having a conversation there. We can keep following ourselves. They tried to say they were selling general barriers coming there to halt the corruption. And then we found that they were better at stealing. Look at what has happened with Malami now. Malami has billions that he cannot explain. And every other comedian came in with General Barry. General Barry himself, he ended up putting a helicopter landing pad in his house in Daura. It's kind of idiocy. I don't know. How is it that they could rebrand Buhari in 2015? Adults who were alive and reading newspaper in his first comment with the nonsense he did, putting people in dungeons in that whole road. The man had misbehaved before. Then they rebranded him and said, no, this is the change we need. Then, of course, he came and brought the change. The man is standing beside a female chancellor, the chancellor of Germany, the head of state, telling her that, well, he doesn't know which party his own wife, Aisha, has joined, but that she should remain in the bedroom and the kitchen. Saying that, standing beside the female head of state. That's the change that we got. Then, of course, all the robbery. But anyway, it's still the same to the way that rebranded it. It's not that we can bring all the mechanism by which they rebranded the Buhari. And I think we deserve what we got. 8 years of General Buhari. Now reversed, put everybody in reverse gear. Now the economy has contracted like 65%. As at the time Jonathan left, Nigeria was one of the third fastest growing economies on the planet. We have 525 billion. We're bigger than South Africa. Go and check what the GDP is today. The gross domestic product for Nigeria is $312 billion. It has contracted. Jobs have been lost. People who were employing human beings in Nigeria and left, starting from all the airlines, because Buhari wasn't letting them carry their dollars out. And you have to maintain your airlines in dollars. But you were letting them Aisha and go buy at concessionary rates. Everybody, all the criminals were buying dollars at concessionary rates.
That way they were going to create employment in Uganda. You see, this is the madness of Nigeria. These things are unfolding in front of all of us, and we're here. And then some people had the guts to still say they were going to vote for the same Buhari in 2022. Anyway,
well, you see, with all due respect, I totally agree with you about the history. There's so much to be disappointed in. But I think now we need to be looking at the current government and 2027, even though the backstory is important.
Well, look at 2027. When, with impunity, they are killing people all over the Middle Belt, all over Nigeria's Middle Belt, all the way down to Okeogun in Oyo State. Look at 2027. Okay, we should continue looking. I think there will be a country in 2027. That would be a miracle if there's still a country.
Okay, so this is the time for us to invite some of our audience.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, but I wanted I just wanted Kule to recap that. But one final one though before we start bringing people, and this is from NSAS because Dele, I know you're very passionate about what happened at NSAS. You know, from your perspective, is there an aligned hope that something like that would happen again? Because I think that was something that you saw and believed in, and that Nigerians can get together and come up with something similar for whatever vision whatever vision that stirred them up. Or do you think, or do you believe that would happen in the near future, or can happen?
Let me tell you what I see of NSAS. NSAS merely gives you a window into what is possible if the people are united behind common purpose. It is a mere window. It is not even a full picture. Imagine that the people organized behind one single agenda, NSAS. That's police brutality. That was all the people asked for. That was the beginning and end of everything. And then it snowballed. It became end corruption, end impunity, end bad governance. And the system got scared. But I need you to remember that that protest was not even nationwide. It was centered largely around Lekki Toll Gate, a few parts, then Ikeja, and a few other parts. You had sporadic outbursts in Benin, in Ibadan. But everything was centered around only one issue. Now, imagine that there was a national effort to organize the people behind common purpose. And instead of only Lagos, you now have maybe like 30, 40 places in Nigeria where the people are committed to protesting and demanding substantive change. This is they would have to bow. So I look at NSAS as a window to what is possible. And I know that if the people have common purpose, Nigerians are not cowards. The people who cross the Sahara to escape Nigeria, cross the Mediterranean, some of them can't even swim. They'll cross the Mediterranean. Those are not cowards. Those are desperate people. If you give them purpose and something to fight for within Nigeria, they won't go anywhere. There is nothing to look for outside Nigeria that is not already in Nigeria. Now we ruined this country, and it will take us to repair it. So frankly, I just think we should look at NSAS as a window to what is possible and understand very clearly that with minimal effort, we can do much better. And Nigeria will not dare to attack like they attack that Lekki if the people are genuinely united behind common purpose. Because policeman begins, soldier begins inside that crowd if we organize properly.
I think the only thing where they made a mistake, those young people at that toll gate that night, as soon as they heard that the soldiers had left Bonica, they shall left that place and regroup the next day. But some idiotic person on the mic was telling them just be waving Nigerian flag.
No, I'm sorry to say, I had to deal with survivors and I listened to them, and what I can say to you is this. The more conscious layers of the protest had left before the soldiers came. Only very few conscious persons were available on site. The bulk of the persons that were at the toll gate that day, or the crowd that would usually sleep overnight, the artisans in Lekki Phase 1, people who lived in the slum around Remiolo Ude, it was largely the liberal workers of the Lekki environment. The children of the most of the people that you think were movers of that place, they had left by that time. That's what accounts for them saying most of the people who died were persons who were largely immigrant workers in Lagos State, slum dwellers. It was just by coincidence that somebody like DJ Switch was there. Incidentally, I was one of the persons who organized flags for them. It's another story that will be told in another day, but the important thing is that we should just learn the lesson of what happened there. All of us slept on a revolution. That's just the truth. Because if the energy from that place had been taken across Nigeria, we wouldn't be in the mess that we are in today. They were so scared of the potential of what was happening that they had to send soldiers to murder the people that were there. That was how scared they were. But imagine if that was replicated across Nigeria and there were clear demands behind which the people had been mobilized. You just look at NSAS from that angle. There shouldn't be any regret. Those who died believing that they were changing Nigeria. That's the honest truth.
Well, maybe you're right, because the one person I know that died in that on that night, the boy was from the east. I went with his mother on a video call because somebody called me saying we should get them to recognize the boy had died. The boy had been killed. So the boy, they said, his mother spent everything she had educating the boy. The boy just graduated, very well behaved guy. Obviously, he didn't know left from right. He didn't know Lagos. You're probably right. And then some person was telling me that nobody died. But that mother, she had lost her mind already. I was looking at her that day. She had lost her mind. That was her only hope.
Okay. All right. I think that wraps it up. Guys, I'll bring people up to speak now. Because Dele has done an hour with us in terms of conversation. Honestly, I'm glad it's a recorded space, so we can all listen to it. Please share the space or follow the host just in case, so you can be aware when things like this happen again, which they will be going forward every Monday. So if you're coming up to speak, you've got 2 to 4 minutes. If you're asking a question or giving a slide submission you want Dele to engage you with, you got that.
Okay. Let me see.
Possible and understand very common purpose, because deal with survival. I was one of them. There shouldn't be any.
All right. I think that wraps it up. Guys, I'll bring people up to speak now. Because Dele has done an hour with us in terms of conversation. And honestly, I'm glad it's a recorded space, so we can all listen to it. But please share the space or follow the host just in case, so you can be aware when things like this happen again, which they will be going forward every Monday. So if you're coming up to speak, you've got 2 to 4 minutes. If you're asking a question or giving a slide submission you want Dele to engage you with, you got that time, is yours. So do what you want to do with it. I think Maureen, you were here first. So Maureen, you've got the mic.
Can I just briefly chip in there and say that because Dele has given us a time restriction, 2 to 4 minutes is too long. Could people keep their questions a bit shorter than they normally would, if you don't mind?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I'm saying that because there's not too many now, but okay, yeah, fair enough. Just common sense, really. Maureen.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Farotimi. It's a pleasure having you and it's a pleasure speaking to you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak first. I appreciate that. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions. I'll try and make them as speak as possible. Because I live in the United Kingdom and all that, my concern is basically about, first of all, question number one, let me put it this way. During the 2023 general elections, the diaspora movement was strong in terms of funding, in terms of preparing the groundwork for what was to be victory for His Excellency Peter Obi. Now that the elections are over and it was taken from His Excellency, how do you see the role of the diaspora now in the coming elections? Can they make a difference? Is there anything more that you feel that the diaspora needs to do? That's question number one. Question number two is the Nigerian youth. What's happening in Nigeria now is traumatic. Very, very unfortunate, very, very traumatic. And my major concerns actually for the Nigerian youth are really seeing the brunt of what's happening. There's no jobs, there's no source of income for a lot of them. There's no money, and there's so many problems on the ground for them. So the question is, what advice would you give to Nigerians, especially the youths who are passionate about making a difference but feel overwhelmed by what's happening in the environment, by the scale of the challenges that they are facing? What advice would you give them today? What will they do? How would you encourage them to look to Nigeria as a place that will be bright at some point, that there will be better days coming or better years to come? And then the final question is, what legacy do you want to leave behind after all said and done, when you're a grand old man and you've reached towards the end of your life? What do you want people to remember you for as a Nigerian? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maureen, and good evening again. Let me say that the Nigerian diaspora is a remnant that is of particular importance if we are going to come out of this mess. The most important thing you can do for all is to keep the spotlight on Nigeria. And you guys have to be intentional about being involved in the path forward. And I will explain myself. You live in societies with minimal restrictions on freedom. So it means that you can amplify our voices. When we may be constrained in Nigeria, you are able to speak in a way that we can speak. When we cannot protest without bullets flying, you can protest on our behalf in the capitals of the West, who are essentially collaborators with the evil bastards, pardon my French, ruining our country. So you don't have kill and ghost where you are. So there is a lot you can do for us. It's not just about money. Then it is very important that you help us with educating your fellow exiles. That while we understand that the exiles, that the diaspora are not unlike our people with one foot abroad, one foot in Nigeria, it would be nice if that foot can be positive, and not that they will be enabling evil in Nigeria that they will not want where they are living. I have listened to persons promoting bigotry in Nigeria and complaining about racism in Britain, and I don't understand how they fail to see the connecting tissue between the idiocy of the tribalist and the bigotry of the racist. So that's one as far as the diaspora is concerned. There's a lot of good that you guys can do. Then the Nigerian youth. You see, the unfortunate thing about us is that the arrested development of our country has been extended to the Nigerian as well. Everywhere else in the world, if you are above 25, you are no longer a youth. But in Nigeria, they still define somebody under 35 as a youth. The reality is that it is a way of perpetuating ageism, allowing gerontocrats to continue ruining Nigeria while suppressing
the energy of the youth, who should be the one propelling Nigeria. I'm going to be 58. I know that there were things I could do 10 years ago that I can no longer do. Not just physically, even my cognitive capacities have been diminished by age. I forget things. And yet, you have old men jostling to rule Nigeria. And the youth, people who are already over 30, they are still believing that they are youth who must wait for answers from these old people who have done nothing but destroy Nigeria. Nigeria is going to be 66 years old. Look, we're still talking about the good old days. We need to look back to the past to find the good days of Nigeria. And it is because the youth are not demanding better, both of themselves and of the people who are already moving in the country. So in all honesty, there will not be a good future for them if they don't get involved. And that involvement is not only in the best shop. It doesn't even end with registering to vote. It means that they must be involved, demand better of themselves and of those who are seeking to rule them. I hold them responsible for the mess that we have right now. We were not thinking on his mandate we were standing when we were in the university at their age. We were fighting for a better country. Even the old people were looking up to us for Nigeria to get better. These ones are busy singing. Nan's president is carrying plate number up and down. This is not something that is sustainable as it stands. It cannot work. It can't work. So the youth themselves, I agree that they've not been directed to purpose, but they themselves have to begin to address themselves to purpose. They can't blame everything. They can't blame this on everyone else. They can't blame this on everyone else. They too need to get involved. They need to become interested in what is happening around them. So that's as far as the Nigerian youth are concerned, they too have work to do. That's my view on it.
And the legacy dynasty.
Let's just say that. The funny thing about this question is that he always forces one to seek some epitaph of some sort. But let me be very clear. All I want is to be able to go to my sleep with my conscience clear. And I know that for that to happen, it will mean that in everything I've identified as being the purpose of my life, I've done the best I can. If history would just record that there was one amongst them who used his brain, that would be more than enough for me. That would be more than enough. If I use my brain and my society responds, and we all work as one, we would have given all of us a good time to go to bed when the time comes. I don't have any lofty ambitions beyond seeing a better society by the time I'm going. That's all. Nothing more.
Okay.
Maureen, you're good with that?
Thank you very much. I think all your answers are perfect. I just want to say that before I drop the mic, just one thing, sorry. The idea that you've given, which I've always advocated as well, which is that Nigeria needs to go back to some kind of federal system. The current system we have now is too expensive, number one. It's a source of siphoning money away as far as I'm concerned, number two, and it has to go. So that you're advocating that is 100% perfect, and I've always believed in that myself. Regarding Nigeria being, getting there to the top at some point in some future governments, hopefully, by the next elections, we're believing God. I believe that Nigeria can get there. I believe that Nigeria should be able to get there. It might not be in our lifetime, but at some point, we will get to the top. And I wish there was many more Dele territories in this world. I really do. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, we'll go to where's he? He's gone now. How about you? Everyone's not here, so I'll go with El Ray Dado. El Ray Dado, you got your time, right? If you keep it short and sweet, that'll be nice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kunle, and thank you so thank you for you guys. Hello, Uncle Sir Dele, how are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, this is one of your scholars that you've succeeded in taking the title. Yeah, the question is, I'm just saying thank you. It's brilliant to have you on space today. You said something carefully about P2B's candidacy in the ADC, if it's not thinking of metamorphosize in a revolutionary movement. I want you to give us a note on what you understand by P2B or nothing, because a lot of Obedience have resolved that enough of this bullshit, enough of this calamity. What do you see that as a revolutionary statement for tired and worn-out Nigerians? Thank you.
Nigerians are always looking for messiahs. They're always looking for Voltrons. They are never willing to fight for themselves, but there is always somebody they are looking to invest with messianic toga. P2B is only one man. One man. An extraordinary man, I must admit. An uncommon politician by Nigerian standard. But that's all he is. One man. Now, it takes a man to propel a movement. And Peter Obi has certainly propelled a people. But behind that movement, there must be more than a man. There must be a collection of ideas, properly articulated and sold to the people, behind which they are mobilized, and which is what propels them. It cannot be about person. As good as a person is, he's still a person. I believe it's the Bible that says, strike the shepherd, and the flock scatters. I won't live forever. Somebody just asked the question speaking about legacy. Legacy bespeaks mortality. It is about mortals that you talk about legacy. People is just a mortal. One day, there will be no more. Just like I will be no more someday as well. What then happens? Will they then go and wake him up to come and do that which they are choosing to do for themselves? So he can only be treated as a totem.
that's the way me I've always believed that Peter Obi should be seen as the top end, the arrowhead of a movement for change. But that change must be clearly articulated before it can be achieved. If it is not articulated, if the people do not know what it means when you talk about change beyond the person of the bottom of your struggle, then exactly what do you expect to change? So the way I'm looking at the whole thing is that, yes, the FTC is a convenient vehicle, but Peter has to move beyond its person. He has to translate this into relatable programs that the people understand that, oh, party, that Peter will be, that's the platform now, not talking about his person. This is what it means. If that party comes to power, they will do this in the area of education, they will do this in the area, they will do this in that area. This is what will happen with terrorism, with security, with restructuring the country. It cannot be that we are moving on the film of hope like people did in 2014, 2015. Even if they believe the illusion that Buhari, an incompetent team with, was going to change Nigeria, what did they expect with the kind of crooks that surrounded him at the time? And it's the same thing you are looking at again in 2025 and in 2026 in the ATC. It's not different. It's the mirror. The only difference is the transformational person of Peter Obi. So for that to move beyond his person, it has to be broken down to relatable programs and policies. And that's the revolutionary movement right there.
All right, Mr. Dele, I just want to, conscious of time, you have spent 75 minutes with us.
Yeah.
We have a few more questions, so it's entirely up to you how you want to run it.
If you don't mind, I will try and take a couple more. But in all honesty, there is actually a valid reason. I explained it to
I know.
Mr. Donu why I needed to.
That's fine.
But
I'll
take a couple more and then I'll leave.
That's absolutely fine. It's really yours to drive, so that's why I asked that question, because I know we're conscious of that time. We'll take 3 more. We'll make it quick, and so we can.
No, we said 2 more.
All right, 2 more. You said a couple. Okay, 2 more. Let's stick with 2. Okay. All right. You go, and then Unaga, then you'll be the last one. All right. Please, short and sweet, please, because our daily is pressed for time. If you can keep it just one question, and then you get your answer. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thanks very much, Mr. So. Mr. Farotimi, thanks for gracing us with presence here. It's a quick question I have for you, sir. I personally find this power sharing between the North and South under the guise gentleman's agreement repugnant. I think that process should be enshrined and indoctrinated in our laws. So rotation is simply a question of law, not just a gentleman agreement. What do you say, sir? Thank you.
You see, the Nigerian winning class has always been very good at defrauding the Nigerian people. Rotation is essentially a fraud. It arose out of the 1993 annulment of the election, and they enshrined it as a principle by the time they brought back democracy in 1999. I believe it shortchanges Nigerians, but as of today, it is something that the political class, as it is, has more or less turned into an article of faith. Even if it must be jettisoned, this cycle has to be completed. But I'm not a supporter of power rotation. I believe if you restructure Nigeria as it should be done, then it wouldn't matter where the premier of your region comes from. It is because of the attraction to the presidency that this madness of rotation was taken as a consensus by those who are the true beneficiaries of power in Nigeria. And it's the Nigerian ruling class. For the people themselves, it is of no use. He hasn't delivered anything good to the Nigerian people. And I really think that just go back to a regional system, parliamentary democracy, decentralized power, and nobody will really be interested in becoming president again.
Great question, Abiodun. I hope that satisfies your question. Right? Awesome. Okay, last one. Onaga, you have the mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right. Hello, Rosdi. I greet you especially. I'm so happy to be on the air with you. This is my first time, and I'm really happy about that. My question, I'm one of the exiles. I had to leave the country because of the fantastic situation we're in there. So, I've been in England for about a year now. Okay, my question. I have an issue with the North. Nigeria is obviously a country, right? It's like a conglomeration of different people, different tribes, different cultures, different ideologies, paradigms. Over the years, we've discovered that these things, our ideologies and paradigms, the space, the lacuna continues growing. I don't have a problem when it comes to voting. You understand? Probably, especially when it has to do with Donu and his idea about change in Nigeria. But from the look of things, right? My own challenge.
You have a question, please?
Yes, I'm going there. My own challenge. Yeah, my own challenge is the core North. They have been fed with so much negativity. So no matter what happens in the South or in the Southeast, no matter how we see life, no matter how we actually propagate somebody to them or to the whole country, the North is the core North is a very, very difficult environment. How do you think we can actually handle such people or change their ideology, let them have a paradigm shift? And look, the way they've been living is not the best way. How do you think we can go by that? Because they are very integral when it comes to, Nigeria as a whole. You cannot de-emphasize them.
I'm sorry, I'm using that word, but I'll take my time.
That's fine.
I'll try and explain it. There is nothing called North. There is no North. That is an illusion that has been deliberately sold to Nigerians for a long time. This thing they call North. There's no monolithic North. There is even no monolithic core North. Peter Obi one in Nasarawa is part of the places they will call North. Peter Obi one in Benue, in Plateau, in Bauchi. These are the places they will call North. And even the places you want to call North, you'll be talking about places like Katsina. Those are the worst victims of Fulani banditry and terrorism. And I'm not discounting what is happening in the Middle Belt. I'm not discounting what is happening to all the many nations that are trapped in what we politely refer to as North in the southern part of Nigeria. So we see this thing we call North. I think if you go back to, and there's a question I had answered earlier on where I spoke to my vision for restructuring Nigeria. If you restructure Nigeria into a region of 6 federations, what you find very quickly is that because you have de-emphasized the centralized nature of power that we currently contend with, which is more or less like a winner-take-all scenario, because you've decentralized power, default power to the regions, you find that this northern veto, this northern prerogative that has been promoted in Nigeria to the point where even when we want to speak in terms of the madness of enthronement of Tinubu, we will still reference the northern veto because that is the reality with which we are living. Muslim ticket, northern prerogative equals Tinubu in spite of the fact that we didn't want him. So I really believe that this northern veto thing, this core north thing is actually a byword for many other issues that we are ignoring to discuss or to confront. In spite of that north that we are talking about, Peter still won the election. So there is really no north in the sense in which we have promoted it like it's on boogie. No, it's there, no doubt about it, but it's outside in its powers because we magnify it.
Thank you for that. Brilliant. Okay. That solves the issue.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Donu, do you want to come in and because Dele has to go and just wrap it up from that point of view? So, yourself, comrade, because while I'm asking the awesomeness I've been listening to.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that, thank you. I've taken note, and I hope we all have, of the difference between complaining and intentionally or consciously pushing back against monstrosity, injustice, and everything that is dragging this nation backwards. That is one of my takeaways from what you have said today, because Nigerians are very good at complaining, both in the diaspora and on home turf, but they're very bad at actually doing anything about it. They're bad at defending their votes. They're not making. My own take is that we're not making enough effort. Do you agree with me before you leave, Dele?
I actually believe that it is the people who are meant to lead that have failed the people. It's not the people. If you've not given the people anything to follow, you really can't complain that they are not following, that they are not active. They just complain. They're complaining because they know things are not right. But they can't do anything about it because nobody has shown them what to do about it.
Okay.
So there is a failure of leadership at the middle level and at the political level. Until we have given them a program they fail to follow, we don't have any moral basis to accuse them either of cowardice or inaction. We can't.
Okay, well, that is a fair point. That is a fair point. So, I hope you'll come on again as things progress. We have a whole lot before this election.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys listened. Olayinka, welcome. I just saw your comments now and I've been going through it. Olayinka, did you just join my channel? That's the question I have to ask first of all. Did you just join? Have you been following my channel? Have you seen all the videos I have shared on this space? Yeah? Okay, let me make myself very clear. I only support what is truthful. I'm not perfect, number one, right? None of us are, but I am not. I'm owning up to my own imperfections. I don't come here to say what I'm not or act like what I'm not. What you see is what you get. When a lot of Yoruba people come to my comment section when we're talking about the way forward in Nigeria, you are not here to tackle them. I know they see you for the comment section, tackling them, calling them out and saying, no, this is not what we represent. I know they see you. Do you know how many Yoruba people have tackled on my channel that has a lot of vile to say? You don't know. You are not there. If you are not a bigot, you shouldn't be affected by what they say. Do you know how many Yoruba people I have here following me on my channel? Do you know how many? If you're not a bigot, you won't be triggered, though. I'm telling you the truth. Because guess what? When anything that's happening, doesn't matter what part of Nigeria it is, even from my own community, I call it out. I know they look anybody face. When there was issue of kidnapping, and the reason why I'm explaining this to you is because I value you as a subscriber. I just don't want you, I don't want to just do, I don't want to respond harshly to you. There's no need, to be quite honest, because we're all suffering one way or the other. Whether you're in the diaspora or whether you're in Nigeria, we're all suffering because you have to send money back home. Whether you like them or not, you have to, right? So even if my own community, when they say they found kidnappers and they found out that the person that was heading the kidnapper was from that community, guess what? I shared his picture and I called him out, and the community people out that knew about this guy, I didn't say anything. Does it mean that I am a bigot towards my own people? Would you say that? I call out my traditional leaders here. I call out my tradition from my own community and from my state. I call them out. Are you here when I call them out? I don't see any of my people come to say, "Oh, you don't like your people. That's why you are calling them out. You are so harsh. You have harsh words for them." This is why I ask, are you new to my channel? Anything that is not of truth, that is not fair, that is not just, that is not equitable, I will call it out. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that are showing their bigotry heavily come from the West. They come from Yoruba. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do about that, Olayinka? Shebi you would be in this Shebi you ought to be in this comment section and be helping me to tackle them. You are not here. Do you know how many Yoruba followers I have? I dare say they probably make up, if not 60% of my followership. They probably do. If they feel like what I'm saying is wrong, do you think that they will not walk away? They would not bother with my channel? I don't look at anybody. I'm not showing favoritism or putting people down on my channel. For what? If the country starts to work today, is it not going to be for all of us? Have you not seen me here call out the northerners, yeah. Have you not seen me call out Muslims as well? Christians, I call out everybody. So you shouldn't take it personal. Maybe I don't know who this FA you are referring to. I don't know who FA is. I'm sorry. Right? If the person said some things to you that you're not happy about, I apologize because it's my channel, right? I may have missed that comment. I can't see everything at the same time. Sometimes I can't. The comments are coming so fast, I can't see them. And I don't miss them. Sometimes my eyes are not glued to the comment section. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want you to take it personal. It's not about you. If you are not a bigot, you are not a bigot. It will show. All the Yoruba people that come here, my Yoruba brothers and sisters that come here, and we're all upset about the situation, right? Some of them, when they come here, they also express their own frustration. We're all frustrated together. But unfortunately, majority of the bigots that I have experienced on my channel, and most people have experienced on their own spaces, because I've been on spaces as well, are Yoruba people. What you make I do? Wetin you want make I do? Do you think I'm proud of it? I consider myself as a bonus Yoruba person. You don't know, I grew up in Ibadan. So I am also feeling the third hand shame. As I'm calling things out, I feel the third, what do they call am? I don't, the English don't escape my head now. I feel ashamed too. As someone who grew up in Ibadan, grew up with a lot of people from different religions and different regions in Nigeria. You obviously have not been following me for very long. That's probably why you think that, oh, I'm going in. What have I said about Yoruba people, please write it in the comment section. What have I said about them? What have I said? My target has always been Emilokan. Are you an Emilokan? Are you an Emilokan? You will write, you will say, me too, I'm an Emilokan, and it's touching me. You understand? If you are, and I don't think you are. That's the funny thing. I don't think you are. Anytime you comment, I don't even take your comment seriously. That's the funny thing. I laugh about it. You're able to, if I was that bigoted, you think you will have the freedom to be leaving comments on my comment section? You won't be. I will be full on bigoted with you, but I'm not. Does that mean that there are no good Yoruba people? Absolutely. I follow, not be today I start to follow Dele Farotimi. It's not today. In case you just joined it, it's not today. I literally have content on Dele Farotimi, especially when he was arrested. My heart is in the place, is for fighting for the, what's it called? For those who do not have a voice. With everything that's going on in Nigeria, I use my voice as much as I can. And if it is coming from a particular region, I will call it out. I'm sorry. You understand? The fact that you're Yoruba doesn't mean you should feel affected. You should feel like it's an attack on you personally. It's not personal. It's not personal. You don't have to take it personal. It's not personal. If you're not part of the whole group of people, you're not part of the Awon Emilokons, you won't be bothered because it's not about you at the end of the day. You know what you're doing. You don't need to defend yourself. You just join in the fight to make sure that we get the work in Nigeria. Everybody wants Nigeria to work, at least those who mean well for Nigeria. That's the team you should belong to, and not take anything personal. When you see people calling, it's just unfortunate because a lot of the people who come and make all kinds of comments, they come from Yoruba land. They're Yoruba. What you make I do? Even on TikTok, come on now. On TikTok, you need to see Yoruba people, even speaking Yoruba, and being so bigoted. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do about that? Should I not call it out when I see it just because, they're Yoruba? I will call it out. I will. I don't care whose horse is God. I call out my own. No, talk of someone who's outside of myself. I will call you out because I want that country to work for all of us. So I don't want you to take it personal. You said somebody made a comment and was insulting you and all of that, and I didn't do anything. I may have missed the comment. I'm not going to see the comments all the time. Do you understand? I'm not going to see the comments all the time. My eyes are in every corner every time I'm live. You understand? So please, Olayinka, do not take it personal. It's not about you. Please don't personalize it. It's not about you, but best believe. I may say something that's going to offend you tomorrow. Please don't take it to heart, because once I leave the live shows, I don't think about it anymore. I'm done and dusted. That's it. Do you understand? So if you're not supporting Agbado, you are not an Emilokon, you don't have to feel bad. You understand? It is what it is. Unfortunately, majority of the people and the bigots that have displayed their bigotry, they come from Yoruba land. That has to be said. And I've seen them in full display, not only on my YouTube channel, in X, in TikTok. Do you understand? They express their bigotry unapologetically. The ones that are standing on the right, standing for the good of Nigeria, I bring them here and I showcase it. Matter of fact, I look for people from Yoruba land that are speaking truth to power to come and show my audience, just to let people know that it's not every Yoruba person that is like this. You understand? So that being said, I hope you understand what I'm saying, and I hope you know that this is not personal. That doesn't mean tomorrow I will not say something that will offend you, right? My followers know if I offend anyone, I beg, I apologize. It's not personal, never personal. My own na to don't talk wetin my eye see, talk wetin I dey hear, talk how the country go take better. That's all I care about. And if most of the bigots are coming from one region, I will still call it out. So please, if you are not a bigot and you are not an Emilokon and you are not one of those people that are, saying we don't care as long as our brother is there, why won't I you understand? You understand? I mean, why will it bother you? Don't let it bother you. Oh, this is social media. Don't let it bother you at all. You understand? So, I haven't said that. We're still together in that same geographical location. Nothing what we fit do. The only thing we fit do now to make sure say we get and right for the country. Simple and short. You hear wetin I talk. Yeah, so I beg, not take a person now. If there's anybody else that feels the type of way about it, I apologize if you feel hurt or you feel like it's an attack. I'm attacking one group. I'm not attacking any group. If you pay attention to all the contents that I provide, it's not about one group. I'm not attacking any group personally. Okay. Is that you calling me? Okay, Olayinka. I'll put you on speaker so you can talk. Mm-hmm. Is that you, Olayinka? Hello, is that you, Olayinka?
Yes.
Okay, I put you on speaker so everybody can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. To be honest with you, as soon as I've been with you for a long time.
Okay.
I used to communicate with you from the email.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
I know you sent me one email one time and I responded to you. Yes.
If you remember when you start, it was me and you that was planning, before they even showing the Jemilokon, the Abadonia guy.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking. My opinion was I want people to protest it. But when Peter Obi said they shouldn't protest, okay, I left it like that. Because that's what he wanted. And I understand his own view and looking of things that he doesn't want people to be killed just because of him.
Right.
So, at the point, due to my work, I didn't subscribe because I used to watch it from YouTube. So, at the point I didn't know my subscription, I didn't subscribe. So, few times is when I was lucky to see you live that I will be able to communicate like that. And I know later I subscribe. Now they alert me, sometimes they don't. YouTube will alert me, sometimes the YouTube doesn't. You think it's okay for me to work hard? See the number I'm calling you from to know. I will work all my ass off here and keep giving people money to pay their children's school fees, to feed, hospital bill, landlord problem. You think it's okay with me to be stupid like that every year, every month, almost every week? I don't know how many Yoruba people, they are suffering like everybody else. Many of my family, I dumped them in the trash because you know what? I gave them money, everything. I supported them. They are supporting APC. Then I said, okay, if you want to go with APC and Tinubu, then me and you are never going to work. I pity you people, that's why I gave you money. But if you think it's okay what Tinubu is doing, then so be it. You live with it like that. So the other night here, Ify, your friend, you call her Ify or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you see sometimes, you see my problem on the platform, me and you might get along today, tomorrow we might not get along on your show.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for this is not because I'm a Yoruba bigot, but due to the fact what you are saying is not realistic. There is no reality in it.
What is it I say that there's no reality? Can you point to what I say?
Sometimes you want to when you talk, sometimes you want to talk like you want to have like Tinubu himself that will grab it. It's not possible. There was a day you are doing your show, I told you when you are going to Nigeria, as long as you made me t-shirt, I will go with you during the campaign of 2027. You remember I said it. I love Obi. During the time for his campaign, I want to see the miracle he wants to do. The way he talks, everything, analyze it. I said, this is a top-notch somebody that will help that country out. So why would you think I will want to, because I'm a Yoruba bigot, I want to support someone that is making life difficult for my own family back home? Why will I do that? Am I that stupid? Even if I'm stupid?
If you say, what did she do? If he's asking what she did.
No, if he was cursing me that night, both of you were, but because, like you said on the show, that if I'm a Yoruba bigot, if I'm not a Yoruba, I shouldn't let whatever anybody said bother me that night. Could you believe I monitored you until I fell asleep on my couch? So
why you money?
Despite the fact because I don't care what you guys say. Because I know you don't see my own heart, you are not in me to see how I feel. But if somebody is telling me, if you are telling me on your show that night, I think what you talked that pissed me off was that you said they're not going to rig, it's not going to happen. I was like, really? Before I started getting mad at you.
I didn't say they were not going to rig.
On the contrary, if you see me saying something on the contrary to what your view is on the show, it's because I don't believe what you're saying.
I know, you know what, if it's that, if you're going about, if you're against what I'm saying, everybody is not going to agree with me. I know that. Do you understand? There are people who don't agree with me and they let me know they don't agree. I don't have a problem with that. Your question, or your two, so let's stay on the issue now. Your issue is that because you are Yoruba, I assume that you are Agbado, and you came and you said that Dele Farotimi is a Yoruba man. You brought a Pade Banjo in and all of that. So I was clarifying to you, because I read all your comments, and I said, first of all, if I was a bigot, maybe I would have blocked your comments. I would just block. I won't even bother, right? But because I've seen I've only seen you recently, right? So forgive me if I don't remember if you've been a part of the channel before, but I've only started seeing you actively recently. So when you made this comment, I'm like, you don't understand. It's not about
Omoye, some of your sisters introduced me to you. I couldn't remember the person because we are co-workers together, right?
Okay.
And these people, they know how I love Obi, and they know what I did during Obi time. Okay? So what I'm saying is, let me tell you this story. What Yoruba people are doing, I don't always be part of it. Even though I later become part of it when it comes to politics, I mean to say. 1998, when we start PDP, AD during President Obasanjo, you know, Obasanjo was in PDP. Most of the Yoruba people are in APP or AD. And we were together when they formed APP, I was in APP. But Tinubu and the life of Morning Southwest governor then and some leaders, they all opt out of APP to go to AD. They were all in PDP at the reception. So at the session of the party, when Alex Ekweme, they create the party, okay. They are opting out of the host party to APP. When Buhari come out of APP, they see Buhari as a threat, they opt out before they form AD. I didn't go to AD with them, I was with PDP. Even my councillor in Surulere ward was an Igbo man, all right? I was with him and I walked throughout the 96th street in my ward to campaign with everyone. Every one of them, all of my friends, colleagues, families, they see me as an opposition to them. When my party leader then at the apex body was Sarumi. Okay, when you move all of us to AD, I still don't believe in Tinubu because Tinubu doesn't even win the primary of AD when he becomes the governor. Engineer Funshaw Williams won it. When they killed that man was when our parallel line starts between myself and himself. Why would you do politics to that extent? So you can never, nobody of my family, even in my local government in Surulere, nobody will tell you or believe you, Bankole will go with Tinubu, like they know both of us, Banki and Tinubu are two different parallel lines. They know, everybody know. Even though I spend my money to ensure it doesn't win some of my vicinity, my territory, I give people money for campaign, for food, for water, pure water, to make sure.
I hear what you I hear. See again, Mr. Olayinka. But that's why I said if you are not part of them, if you know you're not,
it's okay.
You understand? Because the truth is that
because of only one night doesn't make me leave your platform. I want to hear from you. I sometimes what you don't see is when I'm watching you talking. Sometimes I feel you how you feel. I'm frustrated than anybody. trust me, I'm frustrated that anybody on the platform, even frustrated than you yourself. I want to stop the money I'm sending back home, but I couldn't.
Exactly. So it's affecting.
Why would I want that situation they are facing back home to continue?
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why I said the reason why, because your comments, I had to explain to you because one, I try as much as possible to appreciate my subscribers, and if you notice, even your comments that you make and intentionally trying to get me upset, I ignore them because in my heart I can feel that you're not. I don't know. I just can feel that you're just messing around in the comments. So that's why I don't take you seriously. To be honest, it's not because I think that you're a Milokon or how many my Yoruba followers or my subscribers on my channel are probably up to 60%, if not more. You understand? So, and it's not even about any ethnic group because I don't care. At the end of the day, we're all suffering. Where I come from, we're suffering too. You understand? Look at the governor that Agbado imposed on us. We are crying every day in my state. Things that we never used to hear.
Any Nigerian in California that knows me and we have worked together or met each other, they know I don't like APC. I hate APC because of Tinubu and Buhari. I support Goodluck Jonathan then.
Yeah.
I don't always be where Tinubu is. I don't always.
It's okay.
$10 billion today, I will not stay supporting because I don't like his idea of doing things.
Right. Yeah. It's okay. I hear you. I just don't want you to take it personal. That's all. We are here to make sure the country works. That's all.
That night I was still with you. I was still making my comment despite every comments about me, name calling. I don't care. I was still be part of the show. So
yeah,
I know you for who you are.
Right.
But if you're telling me you're going to sit down here and put to be in as Nigerian president, I will tell you it's not going to happen. Every one of us have to go back to go support our people.
Exactly.
For real. That's why I told you that day that if you are going, just make my own T-shirt, I will go with you.
Okay. No wahala.
I said it to one show like that, one night like that. One show where you are doing, I said
now all the comments I go remember. Not be all the comments I go remember now. Yeah.
I know now. So
yeah.
know. So,
but that's fine. No wahala. We're here. We're all here to fight. Yeah. Thank you. All right then.
What about Michael? I never see Michael comment.
Oh, Michael, maybe now later. Michael the hustle.
But accuse me.
Everything.
I like his own comment. I like his gist,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's why I always respond back to him.
Okay, yeah. No wahala. Thank you very much. Yeah. Bye, sir. Yeah. So guys, now so we see no wahala, nothing. All of us want make the country good. I know they take anything personal. To truth be say, once I do my life finish, I sleep well. People go they ask me. I've had people say, Omoye, how do you sleep? All this heavy talk that you have, conversations that you have. Nigerian politics is not for the lily livered, blah blah blah. I'm like, you guys don't understand. Once I cry, I shout, I talk wetin dey my mind finish. When night reach to sleep, I know the strong go. let me say the way my people say, I know the strong go. Once I dey sleep like baby. I know they think anything. I know they remember wetin happen for life until the next day we go again. Now so you understand? So abeg, if you are not a bigot, don't be affected because tomorrow I may offend you again. No. I may offend you. So if you are angry today and we are getting along now, as me and you don't settle now, like that no mean say tomorrow when you come talk something again, I no go follow you quarrel, or people no go drag you for comment, they go drag you. You know, say na social media, you can't control everything. You understand? Now you go, you all do your eye. Sometimes I dey ignore, sometimes I know they ignore. In fact, these days I've told myself, Omoye, calm down. Right? Because seed and color say anytime I dey talk like that, it dey make him heart do gbim. So I say, me I not come be the cause of people's heart doing gbim on my channel. So I have to taper it down. So okay, I'll be calming down from now. So I know that we're all affected by what's going on in Nigeria. That's why we are where we are. And if anybody has said anything that offends you on the platform, please don't take it personal. You recognize that we are all frustrated. We are all frustrated. Just know that we are all frustrated. Sometimes I take out my frustrations on the agbados. I specifically take out because they come to my comment section sometimes and I let them have it. Sometimes I even they quarrel with my own people. I don't quarrel with Kene. I don't quarrel with Mike self. Do you understand? So even Tracy, me and Tracy that day, Tracy cause say me I leave her alone. Now I leave Tracy alone. But then no be say tomorrow we know we'll quarrel again, but we go settle. Now that's what makes us humans, you know. And I'm not here to pretend to anybody. I know sabi pretend. Now as you see, and so it be. If my people commit, if they do anyhow, I go drag them. I don't drag my traditional leaders for my area. When we say that they carry get. I they drag them. I say the day when the youth go gather flock them, they come. I don't talk am. I sure say people dey when they know her people, but I talk am. Now my own I talk. You understand? Everybody know as e go take do im own. Sometimes I dey wish say I get powers to just go do wetin I need to do for Nigeria, come back. I wish I had it, but I'm a human being, right? So now my own I dey do. So I beg you, anyone else who's taking anything personal, please don't take anything personal here, right? All of us did the same. We did the same geographical location. We must fight to see it survive. My followers or my subscribers feel offend you. I beg, no take am personal. We are all frustrated together. You understand? Frustration, I dey do all of us. So if my subscribers offend you, please forgive them. I beg. I dey beg. Because all of us are frustrated Nigerians. Now it make us gather for here, so please. That not mean say tomorrow I no go offend you again, no, Mr. Olayinka. I fit offend you again, no. Just be ready. Go and prepare yourselves. I'm telling you, Tracy, bionic woman, no, for real. I wish I had it. If I had those powers, Omo, I will use it very well. Oh my God, bionic woman go even see me go bow. I go just target am. But anyway, back to this. I really like what Dele Farotimi said because it is true. We cannot go the same way again. Till now, ADC does not know the direction he wants to go. I don't understand. Time is going. Time is of the essence. They are still thinking. I saw picture. Atiku is taking picture with another party person, right? There are now rumors that he wants to decamp from ADC. I'm like, can you guys get it together? These people went to Alimosho to go and register people for ADC. Thugs, they set thugs on them. And I ask myself, you guys already know this is these people's modus operandi. Why don't you get ready? These thugs, don't they have name? Don't they have where they live? If you use one or two show example, you go put fear for the rest. I don't understand. We can't be running forever. This is not how we're going to do election. Me, I'm not going to be part of all of this. So I can't give myself problem. This is a time you are dealing with literal demons. And you are doing turn the left cheek. You cannot do that. They have told you to your face. I happened to be on a space 2 days ago. I was listening to somebody. Some people one guy from the north called Arewa Source. The guy is unapologetic, saying that if Tinubu as much as changes his VP, that the north will pull. With the audacity that these people will use to talk. Meanwhile, southerners, westerners, una go keep quiet. They listen to this nonsense they happen. I hear say Oyo State now they are insisting that they want the Sultan of Sokoto never call out all the terrorism when they happen. He writes so long a letter to Oyo governor, who he write am to, say they are showing bias or discrimination, so they need to get Sharia courts. They need to get Sharia courts for Muslims when they are your state. I'm telling you people. Now, wetin this man carry for head, they write for that, be that. It's on Twitter. I'm not even going to bother to read it to you people. When we have real issues on ground. Every day they are buying people. Every day. It's today they still buy people. They even buy soldiers join. If they buy all the indigenes from the army, they buy all of them come out. You know, say na Fulani terrorists go remain. Abi una no dey think am. People are not thinking about it like that. That's what is going to remain. And that's what they will use to unleash. Do you know what it means for Fulani people to have your security apparatus? People are not thinking about it. Meanwhile, opposition is still doing 10-10. As Dele Farotimi has said, it is the look, any leader that is coming up must be ready. People have to be ready to know, okay, write your will down, because one way or the other, we're all gonna go one way or the other anyway. I'm telling you, because that is the radical change that is needed. That is what is going to be needed. Not the English, then we'll come rich. Oh, let's go to. It's not going to happen. No, it will not happen. Me, I'm not going to follow. I'm not going to follow Naduam. Now, I just this now sit down and look with monkey business. Now, me see they do. Now, sit down and look. If Peter Obi is going to come out, he better come out with war on his mind. If he's not going to have that on his mind, he should forget it. Oh, I said it here before. So, I beg. It's because we can't keep doing this. We cannot divide the country. They don't want to divide it. They are still keeping it together because the Fulanis have an agenda. And everybody is smiling and dancing and partying in Nigeria like nothing is happening. Something is happening. You have literally have fire in your house. These people don't care. They do not care. Is this how you want to go on? We cannot continue like this. We only have a few months. APC is in full-blown campaign mode. They are threatening people. If you do not submit your details, you're not getting paid. Even in Sokoto, it's happening. In every other, I'm sure it's happening in a lot of communities. While ADC is still busy speaking English and doing 10-10 and crashing their website and telling people they've not even been able to raise their website correctly. I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it. If the kitchen is too hot, don't enter. If you know you don't have the capacity to go head to head with these people, don't put body. Not put body, oh. Every day, young people are buying. Young people are. It's easy to born picking, raise them, make people come they buy. I don't understand. Meanwhile, do you guys hear somewhere in the Middle Belt, women came out to protest? Yeah, some women came out to protest inside darkness, no lights. They were protesting. The unalivings. How long are we going to fold our hand and be watching? The opposition needs to step up or get out of the kitchen. For the person that has fire, me, I've been saying it, that is the person that has carry volcano on his head that me, I'm following. No, is the one that has volcano. When you go carry fire for head, when you go say, bring it on. You want to go there, let's go there. We dealt with you with soft glove last time. You say no. This time around, you come any gathering, anywhere they are doing anything, you go with your own tools. I talk Agberos, they come, may they come. By the time you use to take do example, they go wrong, they're not going to near you again. But every time I'm hearing you, they went to scatter this ADC. In my own state, they went to scatter the ADC office. I'm like, are you people for real? But you people know that this is these people's modus operandi. Why are you not prepared for it? Why are you acting like wimps, man? Go there ready. Anyway, I don't know if it's an APC. They say they've already started collecting people's PVCs in Sokoto. They are making them fill out forms. I'm telling you. This is how they want to rig. And meanwhile, opposition is just doing dwe. I don't understand. They drag leg. Oh, Tracy, you say you see Olayinka pretend that you see comments supporting Agbado. Okay, I mean, so far on my own channel, I haven't seen that. So I'm going to take him at his word and the comments, I see for me, if I see, like I said, I feel be your friend today, will quarrel tomorrow. It's not personal. It's never personal. I know they carry people for mind like that at all. It's not personal unless you are an ardent Agbado supporter. That one, toe, go you use head, they hit each other every day. Apart from that, I don't have a problem. You understand? So anyway, with that being said, Tracy, you call me Bionic Kuma. I be Bionic. If he let me, I for wear Bionic uniform, go solve on a problem, come back quietly. But anyway, guys, I will see you now later, Sha. I think I'm going to come out later. A few videos that I have that I want to show you guys that I already put up, lined up to show. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you all. Ify, how you did now? Mo forget and forgive for today, but tomorrow we'll fit quarrel. Na so it dey be. Na politics. Victory all the way. How you did? If you do anyhow, you go collect. It's simple. Nothing personal. You go collect. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.